Hello, my people. Welcome. Bienvenidos to another episode, otro episodio de Hoy En Día TV. Yes, we are here. Oh, like I invited our special guest a little too soon. So we're going to bring you behind the scenes so we can do a proper intro for you, ma'am. Okay? Right. Well, my dear, hey, happy, terrific Thursday. How are you?
Happy Thursday. We're here again. It seems like it was just yesterday.
Yes, absolutely. I know, right? Every Thursday we are here, we are vibing, and we are just, hey, fellowshipping. Every Thursday, 7:30 p.m. live here on Hoy En Día TV. Reruns Sundays, 7:30 p.m. So if you happen to miss us, catch the reruns Sundays, 7:30 p.m. So how has your week been? Any fun and exciting projects you've had this week?
No, not really. I mean, I did have auditions, but I've just been in the house. It's too cold outside. But I mean, if I have to go somewhere and grind, I will. You know, this girl grew up in New York, so I'm used to the cold, but I just don't like it.
I feel you, sis. Yeah, it's interesting because growing up north and then seeing the climate that we have here it's different, right? But then we get that black ice and that snow, and it's like, yikes, it can get a little scary, especially if we don't have the right tires, or others may not know how to drive in this type of weather. So,
right. Yeah, I mean, they said it was supposed to snow again this weekend, so I'm not sure how. They said it was supposed to snow last week, but I didn't get any, so I'm happy about that.
Well, lucky you. We ended up getting what, Saturday and Sunday we got a good, I would say maybe a half an inch. But it was enough to like lay, so it was covered and then eventually froze over, turned into ice overnight. And so waking up the next morning, you see it was all white.
Right.
But then shortly after it melted. So.
So you guys didn't get a lot of snow?
No, no, we didn't get a lot of snow, not at all, thankfully. Yeah, because that's another reason why I moved to the South, right? Because you get tired of shoveling and slushiness, and your car's always all dirty, and dealing with salt, and your shoes get all messed up, and it's just, you get tired of that.
But wait a minute, but you moved right into it, though.
Well, I will say this. The good thing is not as bad as it is in Wisconsin and in New York, right? It's not that bad because they get a lot. Like, and it's understandable because you're closer to Canada, right? And so it makes sense. But I feel like it's following us. Like, oh gosh. Nevertheless, hey, we're here. We're live. We're kicking. Praise God. Yes.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
All right, trending topics. So there's been a lot going on this past week in the media and the news, and especially dealing with just some of the topics that we're facing today. A lot of people are not only dealing with the stressors of what we're seeing with ICE. A lot of families are being impacted, and especially American citizens. There was a recent loss. Rest in peace to Alex Jeffrey. And it's one of those things where it's like, I was looking at his video, he was helping two women. I didn't see he was doing anything wrong.
Yeah, where was that justified? I'm not understanding. This is just getting out of hand. I had to put not interested, because every two videos I scroll, it's something about that, and I'm just like you said, it's getting too overwhelming. I mean, I know we have to be educated to find out what's going on in the media and what's going on around us, so but it started to become too much.
Right. It is. Not only is it emotional, it's scary too. And I understand what they're trying to do. My approach is there's always a tactful and professional way to do it without harassing or harming people. I feel like that's where there's a lack thereof of that.
I don't think there's any happy median. You know what I mean? So they have one goal, one intention, and nobody's going to get in their way. And that's what it is, and it's crazy.
Right. And I know there was a recent video that you had shared with me with regards to Nicki Minaj and her pretty much being in cahoots with President Trump, which is completely, it's to each his own. Everybody has their own choice and freedom to decide. But what I find interesting is that prior to that, there was a petition going around that people were signing to get her deported back to Trinidad and Tobago. And so I feel like that was kind of a chess move for her to kind of get her way good with the president, so that way she doesn't have to be deported. But if that's the case, that's really going to be wrong, because if she is truly here not the legal way, then she should fall in line just like everybody else. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, that is crazy, because I had no idea that she wasn't straight. I mean, money talks, right?
Right. So it's just there's a lot of evidence out there that shows that, sis, that money talks. It's just about what people are paying attention, how they're putting 2 and 2 together, because 2 and 2 equals 4, right? We know that.
Right. And then
go ahead.
And then on another note too, like, I mean, I could understand she's an artist, and you're not as an artist, you're not going to be liked, just like an actor, you're not going to be liked by everybody, because people have their special fans, their favorites or whatever. But if people are purposely doing that because they don't like her as an artist, then that's not cool, then that's not cool. But I mean, I had no idea she wasn't straight.
And I'm gonna be honest, she's been here for a long time, so I'm really surprised that she didn't ever make that effort to get herself straight all these years, because she's been here for 10 plus years.
10 plus years? She's been more than that.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. And I say 10 plus because the people that I know that became U.S. citizens, they said it took them an average of 10 years to become an actual citizen, so they take their citizenship test and all that. So within the 10 years or more that she's had living here in the United States, she had plenty of time to get herself together.
And it's not like the issue is money, because a lot of people, they don't, because I don't know how much the fee is now, probably $300-$400, maybe more than that, but money's not the issue for her to get it, if that's the case.
That's a good point. That is a good point. You are right. Also, I'm not sure if you're aware, but lawmakers in the U.S. Senate struck a deal to advance a group of federal spending bills that will prevent most government agencies from shutting down, because apparently there was talks that there was going to be another shutdown coming Saturday. But thankfully, as of an hour ago, this happened less than 48 hours ago, before a shutdown deadline scheduled for this weekend. The bipartisan agreement includes separating the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, funding from the rest of the budget package, funding most of the federal government through the rest of the fiscal year, which ends September 30th, if the full package is later approved. Temporarily funding DHS at current levels for an extra 2 weeks, giving lawmakers more time to work out immigration-related disagreements before letting that funding completely lapse. So why DHS funding was a flashpoint? So DHS has become the big sticking point because it oversees immigration enforcement agencies like ICE and Customs and Borders Protection. And so some Senate Democrats have refused to approve a full year of funding bill without reforms tied to oversight of immigration enforcement actions, independent conduct standards for agents, and accountability, especially after controversial incidents involving federal agents in Minneapolis, which I really like, because we were just literally talking about that a few moments earlier. In this conversation, is having that structure, right? I get what they're doing, but being more tactful, having a game plan to execute it in a professional and tactful way that still provides respect and integrity to people in general. Because at the end of the day, we're human. When you cut yourself, you bleed red, you still use the bathroom, you still poop and pee, right? So I mean,
apparently not. Apparently they don't think we're human. Look at the way they're treating everybody.
Right. Yeah. No, you're right, sis. And so where things stand, so Senate approval, the Senate is expected to move quickly on the majority of the spending bills under the agreement. The House of Representatives is currently out of session until Monday, which creates a risk that even with the Senate deal, a brief partial lapse in funding could occur this weekend. So government operations, if the House doesn't before funding expires, some government functions could briefly pause, though officials may work to minimize that disruption, because we really don't want to see what we experienced recently, like last year in 2025.
Right.
So why this matters for people's lives. So, it really was. It really was. So why does this matter? Why am I bringing it up? One, I want to bring you all up to date awareness, right? Because we need to know this is a lifestyle show. This is impacting your life, even if you don't think it does, whether it be emotionally, financially, right? There's a lot of just things impacting you. So a government shutdown or even the threat of one affects everyday people in different ways. So federal workers may face furloughs or even delayed pay. Government services such as permits, loans, and some public assistance can be delayed. Travel and safety operation known as TSA, air travel, national parks can see disruptions or reduced staffing, and economy confidence can be shaking, affecting the markets and consumer spending. So that's why this is important for you all to know. Since I said a mouthful, so any thoughts about what I've just shared?
I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what the light is going to be at the end of the tunnel, because at this point, at this stage, I'm lost.
I gotcha.
Because at a drop of a dime, policies could change again tomorrow. Every day you turn around, it's a new policy.
Right. You're right. And I'm going to bring on Dr. C. Andrew, the actionist. Woo woo. Today is her birthday. So, hey, happy birthday. Feliz cumpleaños.
Happy birthday. I can't sing. I want to sing in the shower, honey.
Thank you all so much. Yes.
You look so I was looking at myself. I'm like, why do I look so white on the screen? I'm like, is it the light? I'm like, I look like extra crispy.
You're funny.
You guys look gorgeous, looking amazing. Yes, I like the hair up. I like the glasses. Look beautiful. I love it.
All she needs is an anchor.
Right?
Exactly. I love it. I love it.
She was just going over like the current events and stuff. So we were just having a brief discussion about that, because I told her at this point, honey, I am lost. Every time I turn around in the news, it's something
with the government.
A new policy. Yeah. Lots of new policies. So
how is the birthday girl doing today?
Doing really good. I wanted to stay a little bit late, guys, because my family decided to take me out to dinner. I wasn't expecting that. I was just, going to be low key, normal day, but it was like, no, let's go out. So we went out there and we were rushing to get back. Traffic was really bad when we went out, but we went to Cheesecake Factory. I like the Cheesecake Factory, but I don't know. I don't know. I guess since maybe my palate's a little bit different, since I've been doing this detox and all that kind of stuff, I didn't even eat like half of my food. And I ordered a salmon bowl. So it was like edamame and rice and shiitake mushrooms, the salmon and the glaze and carrots, all the good stuff, right? And pineapples and, green peppers and all that. So all the good stuff. But I brought like over half of it home. So I'll just eat, through tomorrow and all that kind of stuff. So it's been really, really good being on the detox and just learning more about my body. For those women out there, and us, a lot of us, right, that in our 30s and our 40s and our 50s and our 60s and so on, but in perimenopause, right, because that kicks off in your 30s actually, and there's just so many different symptoms. And I'm learning about it because I am in perimenopause, right? But I'm doing a lot of natural things in regards to that. So I've been getting with my internist, right? The naturopaths, and just trying to get ahead of everything, because I don't want to have all of the symptoms that people talk about, the hot flashes and the night sweats and all of that. And it may be coming, but it's not going to leave your girl unaware, unprepared. So I'm being proactive, right? To now get my hormone levels tested, right? There's a natural test that you can do. I'm not just going to say a natural test, but there's a hormone test that you can do that's called the Dutch test. Maybe some of you have heard about it out there. And so it just kind of shows you where you're at within the cycles and things of that nature. Didn't know anything about it until, sometimes you just don't know. You don't know what you don't know until you're in it. And then when you're in it, you're like, I got to find out everything about it. So that's what I've been doing in my journey. And so just seeing the natural things that I can take, I found out that I need some adrenal support, right, for my adrenal glands and things of that nature. And when people say your estrogen levels, what people fail to realize is that there's actually 3 hormones, right, that make up your estrogen levels. Didn't know that. Just learned that a couple of days ago, right? So with this whole testing thing, and there's a huge, I have it right here on my desk. There's a huge little packet, right, just showing everything, and it's really amazing. So it shows you your highs, your lows, things that you're kind of normalized in, below the range levels and things of that nature. So it looks at your and some of these words on here, y'all, are so big I probably can't even pronounce them correctly, but talking about a lot of your different chem panels and things of that nature. But it's very interesting to look. So I would recommend for any woman out there that's perimenopause or menopausal, you're kind of at the end, but knowing like the phase that you're in, whether it's like the luteal phase, like, different, it's just a lot of language, y'all, but go out there and get the test. It's going to show you where your cortisol levels are. All right. We know cortisol brings on the bad stress and things of that nature. So it's going to show you a lot of those things as well. It's going to show you the creatinine. It's going to show you the testosterone. It's going to show you all of these different things. And even like within here, it would show me some of the different vitamin markers and indicators in here. So it was showing that I was a little bit deficient in some B12. A lot of us are deficient in a lot of the B vitamins, right? Having those energy lapses is kind of running low on that kind of stuff. But yeah, there is stuff out there to help us. And I believe people are becoming more vocal about perimenopause and menopause because it's something that we women go through. But check this out. What I'm finding is that it's something that we really shouldn't go through in the sense of having all of the symptoms that we have. The reason why we have a lot of the huge hormone inflections, and a lot of times people hormones are out of whack and you don't even know it. And you might not even be in menopause or perimenopause, right? But your body's like those heavy cycles and things of that nature. You're having a lot of painful cycles. Those are hormones that are kind of out of whack. And so people just think that this is the norm for them, and it's not. But it's been happening for so long, you just kind of adapted, right? But a lot of the different hormone changes that we have, we really should not have them, honestly, as I'm learning about, more about the science of the body and things of that nature. A lot of this stuff is happening because of the hormones in our food, right? Because our environments are so toxic, right? For those people that love candles, all the fragrances that come from the candles, that messes with your hormones. The little Glade plugins and all that stuff, it messes with your hormones. The scents in your laundry detergent, right? When you want to scent it up, they have all those little sweet smelling bees. It smells phenomenal. It messes with your hormones. You know what I'm saying? Makeup, oils, all kinds of things. It messes with your hormones, believe it or not, y'all. So we're dealing with a lot of things in the female body. And we know we deal with a lot, right? But we're dealing with a lot of things in the female body that really shouldn't be. Just breathing our air, right? You know what I'm saying? In your own homes. A lot of our homes, some of the most deadly places on the face of the planet is your home. Is your home, right? Right? Because when you're washing with all these fabric softeners and detergents and stuff, it's in your clothes that you wear every day. So that's in your skin. Then you go to sleep on your nice, lovely sheets. It's in your sheets. So you see what I'm saying? It's everywhere, y'all. And we don't even think about it. So do your homework out there. And I've actually joined some support groups. I just joined a couple of support groups a couple of days back, just getting more information, seeing some of the things that women are talking about, and even some of the natural things, because I want everything natural as I can get it to be able to help me out. And so now I'm learning about the hormone replacement therapy. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I am learning about it. So the more that I learn and go through, I'll be happy to share here on this platform.
Are you going to put it on your website, sis? All that information? Are you going to put it on your website?
Maybe something I got to think about, but yeah, possibly.
So quick question. Remind the viewers and listeners the test that you were referring to that tells you like the different levels in your body. It's called the Dutch test.
Yeah. Yeah, the Dutch test. Yep, just like Dutch, DUTCH, called the Dutch test. And this was just literally a urine test that I did. Of course, you can do the blood test. You can have your doctors test you through the blood and things of that nature. And then also there's other tests that can test for other things. And you can do simple tests, y'all, where it's just your saliva. So there's nothing, getting blood. You can do so many different things with this, right? And muscle testing that I'm finding is very important for like the different foods and things that we eat. There's different tests out there that we can do for muscle testing where your body will tell you like, no, this isn't good for you. No, you shouldn't have this. A lot of times we know some of those things, but sometimes even some of the good stuff that we think like, oh, I'm going to get, keep drinking this. And your body's like, no, right now I can't do any lemons. I can't do, and lemons are great for you, right? But for my body right now, my body's saying no lemons. I can't do orange peppers. I love peppers, everything peppers. I had peppers tonight though, right? But it's saying no orange peppers for, because of just different levels, things that's going on within my body. So I'm just kind of tapering that for now. And then hopefully we'll get back into it, right? Because too much of anything, whether it's good or bad, will ultimately turn out bad for you, right? We know that.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow, that's a lot to take in. I didn't know that. I know you had mentioned briefly about the Dutch test, so I mean, I'm probably going to have to check that out.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's very overwhelming. Yeah. Women, we have to deal with so much. And this is just another added layer of a life phase, you know, that we go through. And it's just, it's information out there, but you know, you have a lot of psychological and emotional things, because I was having some of the highs and lows, and everything in my life is beautiful. But my emotions in it was saying everything wasn't, but there's nothing going on in my life. You know what I'm saying? So, or nothing bad, I should say, going on in my life. But it's these hormones, you know, and it really leads people to suicide, which is very, very sad. And just, you know, you're just going through so much, and we already go through so much already. So when we begin to realize, like, hey, these are more hormone levels, you can be a little bit more gentler with yourself. And I had to keep telling myself that, right? And I definitely had to pray and like, God, you got to help me through this, because here's yet another milestone, right, in our lives that we're going through. And perimenopause can last for y'all decades. Okay. So you can be in this thing, you know what I'm saying, for a long time. Right? I don't want that. Because when are you menopausal? Many people don't know when they're menopausal. When you're menopausal, you have to go a full year without a cycle. After that full year without a cycle, then you're now menopausal. But everything before that, you're you're pre, right? Yeah.
Ooh, child, that was a lot to digest. I'm looking for pearls to clutch, but I can't find any.
That was very helpful. Thank you so much for sharing that. So this test is administered through your PCP, or is there a specific place that people would need to go?
Yeah, it can be. Mm-hmm. It can be, but more than likely it's not going to be. So this is something that you really got to kind of pay out of pocket for. Some health coverages may cover it. My health coverage does not. I'm military, I'm with the VA, and they're only going to cover you for what you need to be covered for, right? So all this extra work that I'm doing, I'm coming out of pocket to pay for this. But, you know, we got to invest in our health. So paying, you know, $300-400 for this test is going to give me a plethora of information about my body, what's going on internally, right? And then I can get natural supplements to help support my endocrine system, my adrenal system, all of that stuff that's going to help me, you know, be really or be up on one with this whole perimenopause thing. So I'm not experiencing the night sweats that some people experience it, or the hot flashes and things of that nature, or let's just keep it real, you know, just dry, girly parts, right? Because that happens too, okay? And that can make, you know, your love life, you know, with your loved ones, that can make that very difficult as well. I haven't experienced any of those things. Thank God. I don't hope to experience any of those things. And that's why I'm being proactive. And that's what I like about Hoy En Día TV, is that we are proactive. We're here to get information out to you so that you can, you know, be a free thinker, you know, mull it over, and then do what you need to do for your health, right?
Absolutely. So pump your brakes for a minute. You had said something that you had to come out the pocket for all the veterans that are listening, because I'm a veteran too. Why the VA why they're not paying for that? Why are they paying for that?
So it's very simple. It's money and it's bureaucracy, right? So just think about it. Military, lots of vets, right? It's not a lot. We're less. We're a very small percentage of the population, but still, at the end of the day, it's about money, right? And so like a lot of protocols in medicine have been changed over time, believe it or not, right? So for people that don't have indicators of certain things, like say if you have a family history of cancer, right? More than likely, they're going to do the more extensive tests and get you checked and do all those things. That's going to be like a part of your protocol. But for a person like me who don't have a lot of those high markers in my family, I don't get tested for those, or I might get tested for it, but it might be once every 5 years or every 10 years, right? So just a little extra information out there, right? Since we're all in up and, you know, I'm gonna be honest, we keep it real, right? So I just literally had my first colonoscopy. Woohoo! All right, I just do a dance about it, right?
Wow.
This is my first one ever, right? And so I did it just to make sure things were great and wonderful and all those things. And everything was really amazing. I got to say the VA here in North Carolina took excellent care of me. This is going to sound really crazy, but The procedure wasn't fun because I don't remember the procedure because they put you under anesthesia, but everything leading up to the procedure, it was amazing. The staff, they were happy, they were bubbly, they were helpful. And one of the nurses that came in when he was going over the procedure, because we have to make sure it's the right patient, the right procedure, you know what I'm saying? All of that. So just make sure we're doing the right thing with the right person, which is great. And so as the gentleman was doing that, he sounded like a pilot or something, so I was getting ready for takeoff, right? And it was just so funny. They had music playing in the little treatment room and everything, and everybody was just full of smiles and super happy. And so it made me feel a lot more comfortable, but not so comfortable to the fact I forgot to take off my undies, y'all. I really did. I got in there, they were ready. They was like, "Wait a minute, ma'am," and I was like, "Oh my goodness, I forgot." So I just shimmy them on down, you know what I'm saying? This is TMI, y'all. TMI from Hoy En Día, okay? I guess that's what happens on your birthday, right? So, but yeah, we just shimmy on down, like, let's keep on moving, all right? Let's keep this party rocking and rolling. But it was a quick procedure. Everything was fine. Clean bill of health. They give you this stuff called Go Lightly to drink. Now, let me tell you this, y'all. There is a pill that you can take to not drink these gallons and gallons and gallons of liquid, right? There's a pill that you can take. The key is that you really have to hydrate. So they prefer giving you these huge, I think it was like 2 gallons, 5 gallons. I don't know. It was a lot, right? But they give you these 2 huge bottles, these jugs that you got to drink.
64 ounces.
Okay, yes. So you got to drink this stuff. It tastes like salt water. So the taste isn't like, ugh, but it's not good either. It's just like to me, it tastes like salt water. And they say you can add a little flavoring. So I did try to add some flavoring. It tastes awful. So I just say, nobody just drink it like it is. And it really just goes on through you. And so it's called Go Lightly, right? I said they should call it Go All the Time because you're going all the time, right? But you really get clean on the inside, y'all. Clean as a whistle.
But remember what I told you. Remember I told you I didn't have to drink that nasty stuff because they had the they told me to drink the Gatorade with the Metamucil, and that was it. You didn't have to you didn't have to accept the one they give you. Just do the at home one.
Well, honey, I forgot because I had those jugs and I was a chugga-lugga-lugga. I think I can, and I did, and it was done. Yeah. But I'm telling you, like I was like, well, I should lose about 30 pounds, just.
You probably lose like 1 inch. You drinking all that stuff going all the time, and you lose like 1 inch. I was like, that's nothing.
But there is a pill you can take. So there are choices, all right? So you don't have to drink all that stuff. So you can say, hey, give me the pill, and I'm going to promise, Girl Scout honor, right? I'm going to drink all the fluids that I need to kind of just flush everything out. But after doing all of that stuff, I just feel good on the inside, and just like I want to eat clean and eat healthy and that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it was a good procedure, and like I said, clean bill of health. But just know that you have options.
Praise God. Yes. That was definitely good food for thought, insight, and for those who haven't come across getting a colonoscopy, and it's your time, and you're it's knocking at your door. Go ahead and do it. Dr. CC had a great experience, and it sounds like Nadine, you had a good experience. It sounds like.
Wait a minute. Did they put you under CC or no? They had to.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Because the doctor put me under, and I told him, I said, I have a little tolerance for medication. He didn't believe me. They're trying to wake me up for almost an hour. I said, thank God they didn't overdose me like Michael Jackson, honey, because I tried to tell the doctor. He's like, I've been doing this for 30 years. I'm like, okay, sir.
Wow. Well, thank God everything worked out in your favor. Ooh. Yeah. But with that, we're getting so much food for thought, definitely juicy conversation. We have our special guest waiting behind the scenes, but before we bring her on, we're going to go on a quick sponsor break. So do not go anywhere. We will be right back with Hoy En Día TV.
A bold builder of people, purpose, and platforms, Girls with Gigs helps high performers and those desiring to achieve more shift mindsets and activate purpose. Whether it's career or leadership development, personal branding, or knowing your worth, in the job market, transformation has never been closer, because this is where purpose meets action and dreams become destiny. Book your free consultation today at www.girlswithgigs.com.
At Cab Zenza, we believe beauty is a ritual, not just a routine. Rooted in intention and inspired by nature, our skincare is crafted to nourish more than just the skin. It nourishes the spirit. Every jar is made with purpose.
Because when you flourish inside, it shows on the outside. Cabzenza's isn't skincare, soul care.
From the moment that I put this Cabzenza on my skin, it feels most amazing. As you can see, it has your skin glistening, it's moisturizing. You too should get Cabzenza.
Luxurious body butters.
All right. So for those who feel stuck, you don't know your purpose, reach out to Dr. CC, the Actionist with Girls with Gigs, Inspire for Purpose. She will help you. She will get you on board and help you find that purpose. Also, don't walk around with your largest organ a little dry and ashy. Invest in Cabzenza body lotion and butter. I mean, hey, your skin is going to love you a little bit more. I mean, hey, as long as you treat it right, it's going to treat you right, right? I mean, I'm just saying. All right. And so with that in mind, big shout out to, I see we have a good amount of viewers and listeners. So thank you all for tuning in. Drop us a hello. If you have any questions for us, we're happy to help. So come on, let's engage. Let's engage together and see. This is an open conversation.
Yeah. And where they're watching from. Put in the chat where they're watching from.
That's right. Where you're watching from. I would love that. Absolutely. All right. So special guest, should I introduce, or Cece, did you want to introduce our special guest? Yeah. Go.
Yeah, you can introduce. Yes, please.
All right. Perfect. All right. So our special guest on this segment of Hoy En Día, we're spotlighting a woman who's redefining what it means to be a multi-hyphenate powerhouse. Our guest, Latoya Stokes, is the CEO of GorJus U, a dynamic brand bridging beauty, fashion, entertainment, and education. As a mother and entrepreneur, Latoya has mastered the art of turning passion into purpose, empowering others to embrace their individuality while building professional confidence. Beyond the business, Latoya is a self-published author. Ooh, that's interesting. I love it. Recently releasing her debut book, Slim Life: Journey to Weight Gain. In this deeply personal work, she opens up about her health, body image, and the perspective often overlooked in the wellness space, using transparency as a tool for connecting and healing. As a professional model and artist, she continues to use her platform to explore intersection of the art, identity, and self-expression, proving that beauty and education truly do go hand in hand, huh? Join us as Latoya shares her journey from the salon to the bookshelf, the inspiration behind GorJus U, and how she balances motherhood while building and thriving purpose-driven careers. All right, so without further ado, we are welcoming to Hoy En Día, Latoya Stokes. Welcome.
Welcome.
Hey there. You look gorgeous. GorJus U. You looking gorgeous.
Thank you
so much. I appreciate you. Happy birthday.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today here at Hoy En Día, especially on this special day as we celebrate one of our own, Dr. C. Andrew, the Actionist, with a birthday. Yes, last month we got to celebrate Nadine. Now this month we are celebrating Cece. Yes, and in March it'll be my turn. So yeah.
Oh, right. I'm February.
Oh, you're February. Oh, nice. Are you early or end of February?
7th.
Oh, so you're coming up real quick.
Oh, wait. December, January, February, March.
Yep.
Look at that.
Back to back.
Ooh, back to back.
It's like it's in like for me, December, January, February, March.
Yes. Beautiful. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I read an amazing bio, very robust, very impressive. But in a nutshell, who do you say you are?
Okay. So I would say that I am a cougar. Just joking. I would yeah, so I would definitely say that I love to make people laugh, for one. Like I love to make people laugh. I am a mother. I'm very genuine and kind-hearted, honest, and creative, very creative. And let's see. Yeah, outgoing, kind-hearted. You know, I'm spiritual for sure. Definitely, I love God. So, yeah, I believe that's definitely who I am.
That is amazing. I love that. So GorJus
Thank
U,
you.
which is beauty, fashion, entertainment, and education, which typically, it isn't always common. So what gap did you see that inspired you to create this type of brand?
Okay. Well, first and foremost, I'm a cosmetologist. So, with cosmetology, you get to, you can kind of go into your own lane and you can become an entrepreneur. So, cosmetology allowed me to be an entrepreneur. And I became a cosmetologist from getting pregnant at 21. So cosmetology was my backup plan, but what I was in school for was more of like journalism, mass communication, speech pathology. So a part of me getting pregnant early, I really wanted to vow to young mothers that, you still can live your dream and have your dream to yourself, just maybe, work on it on the side. So I'm very thankful that through cosmetology, I've been able to, bridge a gap and, like really do some cool things. So I'm excited about that.
That is amazing. So I'm going to open the floor to Nadine, who is going to be asking you some follow-up questions.
All right.
Yes, welcome to the show, Latoya. You do have a very nice, robust, I almost said restaurant. Y'all, I must be hungry. Bio, I don't know where I got restaurant from. But yeah, so so it's your book Slim Life, right? And congratulations on your authorship as well, because I'm an author as well.
Thank you, you too, ma'am.
You're welcome. It says your book Slim Life, Journey to Weight Gain flips the usual wellness narrative, right? What inspired you to tell that story now?
Well, I think that's a great question. Two things inspired me. One was I actually went through a big weight loss, and the cause of the weight loss was through stress, but it was also because I was dealing with some things as far as like police harassment and when I don't know, police brutality, whatever they had going on, it was a lot going on. And I was affected by it in my city, like being followed and just, I was involved with the police like over 7 times and, in a 3-month span or whatever. And it just really, it was just seemed like a lot was going on. So I lost a lot of weight from that. And when I realized, it was just like, I don't want to lose myself. I really want to, just be my authentic self and just nurse myself back to health. And the other side is that I've always been slim. So with always being slim, it's kind of like you don't really gain too much weight. You're kind of like, so I didn't want to lose any more weight, and like you can't recover when you don't have nothing left. So yeah.
Wow. Okay, I have one more question before I pass on to Cece. So as a mother and CEO, how do you stay grounded while building a purpose-driven brand?
Well, I would say that I definitely stay grounded as far as God goes. Like God has always been in my life. I've always had a personal relationship with God. God is really important to me. So that's instilled in me. I instill that in my children as well, having a strong prayer life. And as far as maintaining the business as well, I actually do homeschool. So my daughter is homeschooled. My 2 sons, they're 20 and 21. So they're doing great, but they're on their own. But I just multitask, but I get up early in the morning and I just hit the what do they say? Like your feet hit the ground and you're like running.
Hit the ground running.
Yeah,
hit the ground
something
running.
like that. So yeah, I just diligently work on my business because I am building GorJus U from the ground up, and it's just me. So I just stick with it.
Right. Okay, that's amazing. Thank you for those answers, because this day and age, it is so hard at times to stay grounded. If you don't have strong in faith, oh my gosh.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, that's
you're
all.
right about that.
Thank you.
Piggybacking off of that, so the book, right? Slim Life. So, because people are probably like, why are y'all over here talking about how to gain weight? Child, I've been trying to lose 30 pounds for the last 20 years. You know what I'm saying? So we're kind of flipping the script here a little bit. But, I know joining the military and things of that nature, I was very thin. I've been very thin all my life. They call me a little stick, right? And so this is the heaviest I've ever been. People are like, you're not fat. I'm not. But for me, it's a lot. And so for anyone that has gained weight, what the weight feels like on your joints, on your body, right? And things of that nature. And what I've oftentimes found is that, like, when I'm in the locker room, this has happened to me on many occasions in many different locker rooms, right? And everyone has things that they want to do better, or like more about their bodies and things of that nature. And just because you're slim doesn't mean that there's things that you don't like about your body. There's always things we're looking to change. And so they were like, girl, shut up. They would just tell me to shut up. Like, they were not nice. They would say, shut up. You have nothing to complain about. You are not fat. And I'd be like, look, I got some back fat going on. I got some rolls, kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they were like, you're just out of your mind. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, yeah, I do, because I know my body, right? And it was just little things that I didn't like. Was it excessive? No, but it was still more than I would have liked for myself. So in gaining weight in a healthy manner, because I had to gain weight to join the military, right? They was like, okay, you got to do all of these things. My recruiter, he was exercising me, making sure I could do my sit-ups and my push-up, all the fitness tests and running, and then also making sure I was eating a bunch of junk. So that was kind of nice, because I got to eat all the fat stuff, right? But if we're trying to gain weight, but in a healthy manner, right? How did you manage to do that?
Okay, so I'm going to be honest with you. What I reached out to someone who I know that they had basically gained weight. They were successful with it. And so they had told me about Apetamin, which it had got very popular and everything for a while. But basically what I did was did my research on Apetamin, the syrup. And I found out that Apetamin is actually a medicine that was given for like people or kids, or it doesn't matter the age, but it's basically given as a medicine for people who have an eating disorder, like maybe they're malnutritioned. So that syrup increases their appetite and it helps them put on weight. So I thought that was, yeah. So I'm a very firm believer in research, with your body and just things in general. You have to do your research to find out what's the purpose, how it's going to affect me. So it's almost like an allergy. It can be used for allergies as well. Like this person, it was prescribed to her for allergies, but it was in a pill form. So they have different forms. So that is how I did gain weight. It slowed I wouldn't say, well, it made me sleepy. So it kind of slowed my metabolism down, but it increased my appetite. So yeah, that was my thing for it. But I will say that it's not just about gaining weight, like physically for me. This book was also about like mentally, physically, spiritually, and really like tapping into the inner core of yourself. What do you want? What does your life look like? Not about anyone else, not about anything, but solely what is it that can help you grow? And so getting these things under my belt was a part of my weight gain, getting my business, like, just, yeah. So it's all a total package.
Listen, Cece was That's saying awesome. I get on her all the time because I'm like, lose weight where? Listen, when I joined the Navy, I was 98 pounds. I'm not saying I want to be about 98 pounds, but you see where my weight go. You see them little chubby cheeks.
Yeah,
I can't even see my nice glowing cheekbones anymore because I'm like,
I see them. They're right here. I see them.
So listen, I was 98 pounds when I joined the Navy. Look, Cece and I, we were in Japan running around the base because she's always been obsessed about her weight. She was like, come on, Nadine, we gotta go. We gotta run around this base 10 more times.
Yes. Absolutely.
Latoya, my question
we were very
is about your
I was just saying we were very thick girls, doing our stuff.
Okay.
You got it, Yessie. Go ahead.
My question is about your upbringing. We're gonna take a glimpse back in the day when you were growing up. How was it growing up, especially you feeling like you were thin, and what did you experience that put in your mind like I needed to gain weight?
Yeah, so I will say it started probably in about 5th grade, to be honest with you, after you take sex education. So once you take sex education, then the guys are knowing how the girls' bodies are developing. And so, you know, with me developing compared to some of my other, you know, classmates and stuff, I was underdeveloped. So, you know, it's like I was being called flat chested. You know, I was being called names and different things like that. So I actually tried to gain weight when I was in 5th grade, and it went like to my stomach. And I was like, that's not going to work for me. So I just I stopped doing that. But that's the first time I ever tried to like force myself to actually gain weight. It was like probably 5th grade.
Gotcha. So, you know, it's interesting that you share that you were being bullied verbally because of your weight. And so nowadays, a lot of young ladies, young girls in elementary school that have similarities with being bullied because they're either too thin or too big. So if a young girl were to watch this segment or even you talking to yourself back in the 5th grade, what would you say to that person now, because you're grown, you're mature, you have a different mindset that you didn't know back then? What would be your words to yourself?
Yeah, so my words to myself would be probably definitely have a better comeback, you know, to them, just to like laugh it off and defend yourself, but don't take it personally, because everyone's bodies grows at different rates and different times. Just because the book says this, that doesn't mean that that's happening for you. You know, because even with, say, a menstrual cycle, I didn't start my menstrual cycle until I was 16, you know, and that's like a really late time. So my body development is just not developing the same as someone else's body. So you don't want to be hard on yourself, you know, even if you're more hairy, because that was a thing too, that I was getting picked on for being hairy. So it's like I really had to teach myself that you accept yourself for who you are. Period. Yep.
That is beautiful. Thank you so much. And then focusing on your writing can be very vulnerable, especially with the topic that you focused your book, Slim Life Journey to Weight Gain. What part of the book was really the most challenging or most difficult for you to write and put together and gather your thoughts on?
Oh, that's such a great question. I would say the most difficult part was probably just tapping into the self-awareness of why I really wrote this book, and what I wanted to be able to convey to the audience, that what's in this book, you're going to get something out of it. It may not sound like it from the title, but I really made sure that I put and planted some great seeds in that book. So, you know, that was it.
That is
and
awesome.
I know we were chatting earlier.
Thank you.
I know we were chatting earlier about some of the information in your book, and you had some quotes, right? You had some quotes that you might, you know, want to share and things of that nature. So I want to just kind of hear some of the quotes in there that could be, you know, encouraging, you know, to the listener, to the viewer that's out here. What are some of the ones that actually stood out in your writing to you most?
Okay. Okay, let me see. Okay, so this is what I would say. I have been through relationships that have taken from me mentally and physically along my journey. It's been me that adds what has been taken and then some. I've always been into taking care of myself through prayer, diet, and exercise. and I had to learn to take better care of myself in a unique way. For example, recognizing unhealthy, toxic distractions that may try to diminish your true self. Okay, I don't know if I should keep going, but because that was a little more than a quote, but that's
I'm glad you shared that. Yeah, no, that's great. I'm glad you shared that because it just kind of shows the well-roundedness of it all, and for you to be, vulnerable in your book to share, your stories and things of that nature, and how it does affect you mentally, physically, and what even brings you to the point of like, I need to gain weight. This started for you as an adolescent, right? A very young adolescent. And then as we can see how in our adolescent years, how that forms, those formative years, how it even goes into your adulthood. So it's important that we, have a mindset psychologically to be able to go into change, right? How we think about ourselves. And so it's great that even now, like you've done the work and you're doing the work to heal right within. And writing it out is so therapeutic. Nadine, I mean, she's a writer. She's written like so many books, and it's very, very therapeutic. Even her first book came from hard knocks in life, right? And which helped to grow her, develop her, challenge her, and also has now become a healing tool for other people. I want to shift the conversation a little bit, and this will be my last thing. Homeschooling. You are homeschooling your daughter. I've had the pleasure of meeting your beautiful baby girl, Jada. She's amazing. She's creative. She's an artist and all these things. And tell us a little bit more about homeschooling, right? Because every homeschool child I have met, including yours, they are very smart and they are so well-mannered, with respect and things of that nature. It seems like they're more grounded to me versus children that are not homeschooled. Like, this is my opinion. This is just everything. Like, I'm telling you, every homeschool child that I have met, this has been the standard. Well-mannered, respectful, super smart. And I know that can kind of come because when a child is homeschooled, you can really tailor and focus in on how they learn. So that way, when you're teaching them how they learn, they really get it versus like in a public, sector where it's kind of like one teacher and you got like 20, 30 students. And it's just, I'm going to teach it and you better figure it out how you learn it. Right. So tell me how you got into homeschooling. And the second question to that is, do you enjoy it? And also, does your daughter enjoy it? Like, what are some of the challenges with that? So how you got into it and what are some of the challenges?
Yes, well, thank you as well, just for asking me. It kind of made me a little teary-eyed. But I got into homeschool. I love teaching. I love education, clearly, because that's a part of my thing. But honestly, I'm divorced. So it was a point in time where we were living in Texas. We came from North Carolina to Texas. And when she went to elementary school in Texas, it was a lot of things going on that was like a distraction to where the kids in her classroom was locking the teacher in the closet. And so they would have the principal, they would have to call the principal for the principal to come. And it was just like, I just felt in my spirit, like, I really don't want my daughter to be learning those types of behaviors. Cause I don't know who, locked the teacher in the closet. Like, how is that even happening? So that's when I decided, I know. So that's when I decided that, I'm going to homeschool her. I had done preschool with my boys already. But that's when I decided to go ahead and just start her with that. And I looked up the Texas Teachers Coalition and everything, what was the standards and requirements and stuff. So they're basically saying that homeschool is considered private school. It's a private education. And you as the parent are responsible for your child's education. And I thought that, that was really awesome. And so that's how I got started. And as far as the experience, I have completely loved the experience. I do like the freedom, that comes with it as far as like making your schedule and stuff. But one of the first things that I taught my daughter was the Black National Anthem. And I felt very just honored to be able to teach her that because I didn't know the Black National Anthem. I didn't even know that there was one, until that one. Like I didn't even know that there was one. So I love the fact that I'm able to incorporate different things and teach her some things that were not even available in school. Like one of her classes is financial literacy. So I know that that's going to be something that she's really strong at. And even if I take her to the grocery store and stuff, she said, Mom, I'm so glad I learned about unit pricing because, so it's like she knows how to, price check and look at stuff and things like that. So I think that homeschool, it does open up some different avenues, especially if you have patience with it. Some people, it may not be their thing, but if you're interested in, you have patience, it's really good for the kids. And, I was talking to my daughter a little bit today, explaining to her some things that I went through as far as middle school and high school with friends and some things. And it's like, she doesn't really have to experience like that negative side of things. And so she's able to set her boundaries kind of early, with how she is and how she wants to be. So she has had some experiences with schools and stuff, but yeah, I feel like homeschool it's definitely cool. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say when Cece was talking earlier, I was like, at least they're actually being taught, at home, and there's no distraction because mommy or daddy gonna put that whip down, like, hey, they don't have the other kids, and they're not even if the teacher calling them, they're not shy to speak out in front of the classroom. So it's just a totally different dynamic, I think.
Absolutely. Yes.
So diving deeper into the homeschooling conversation. So the process in your experience is that you have to still register the child with the state and then they give you a curriculum, or do you create the curriculum to teach the child? How does that typically work?
No, you have to do everything on your own. So you don't even register or anything like that. The only thing that you would do is basically, if you're going to keep your own records, you're going to find your own curriculum. They have some free ones, but like you can make your own or you can follow guidelines and stuff. So there's a lot of different curriculums that you can use and you could just like keep going. One of the things that she does is Khan Academy. So it's like some online, where you have like some online and everything. So yeah, that's how I do the curriculum. Yeah, but there's no state like registration. If she wanted to go into high school, and that's kind of the purpose of keeping your records or whatever she may want to do, then you can transfer over and they have something to go off of. So that's only, that's how that works.
Gotcha.
Just a little note on that. Yes, see, the Khan Academy is really good because when I was a recruiter, and kids and those young kids, they needed to retake the ASVAB or study, we'd recommend them using the Khan Academy. It's a really good website.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And then what about for a person that wants to go to college? Let's say they pass the high school age. How do they, because with college you need either a GED or a high school diploma. How does that work to get into the college field? Do you know?
Well, I haven't crossed that bridge particularly yet. But as far as her high school diploma, like say if she wanted like an actual high school diploma, then she could just get it from the community college, like go through that program and just like take a test to be able to get that to go on to the next level. So that's basically as far as I know how that works. And I know there's some young people in college, but yeah, so that's what we're looking into as far as, her transitioning to there. I don't know if she's going to go to college though, because she's got some other things in mind, little Miss Entrepreneur kind of. So
that is awesome. I love that. Yes.
And I'm glad you said that about the like she's not sure if she's going to go to college, right? Because typically in American minds, it's like go to school, get good grades, go to college, get a good job and work hard and you live the dream. That's not necessarily it. And so even for my kids, now I would have never thought me being a doctor, I've got the highest level, saying?
Yeah.
So it's like college. People, oh, your kids are gonna go to college, but that's not my thinking, y'all. It's like, you know, showing them that there's so much more out there than just a diploma. At the end of the day, it's a lot of hard work. You get a lot of education, but what are you going to do with it? It's what you do with it. And you don't necessarily have to have a diploma or the highest education, you know, in the land, right? Whether it's a doctoral degree or master's degree or whatever the case, right? It's about the person, the individual, right? So I like what you said about that, because some people might be cringing, right? Like, what do you mean she's not going to go to college? She has to go to college.
Exactly.
No, not necessarily. There's many money. And money is not the measure of success either, right? I want to put that out there. Money is the least, you know, success factor on my chart, right? For a person being successful, there's so many other things that you should, I believe, deem, you know, success by versus just monetary value, right? Money comes, money goes. You can make money, okay? So I like that you said that. So the fact that she's thinking about entrepreneurship, because that's my big thing. Be an entrepreneur. Be your own boss. It sounds nice, right? You ladies, you all have businesses, right? And you're doing well. You know what I'm saying? You're growing it, but it is hard work. To be an entrepreneur, you work, you put in time, you know, and I can attest, you know, from Yancy and Nadine, knowing them, you know, over this course of time, these ladies work, you know what I'm saying? And it ain't easy. And they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 500 jobs. So Nadine's fine, she's Jamaican. So that's the expectation to have 500 jobs. Okay. If you're, no, I'm just joking.
I was trying to be like this too.
They say you Jamaican got 20,000 jobs. Okay, that's okay. So she checked the box. She made the standard. So she's a true Jamaican. Okay.
Girl, I'll be over here cracking up.
Oh, man. So if you want to know if she's a true Jamaican or not, yeah, she got 50,000 jobs, so she makes the measure. But you know, and then you know, and even us, you know, we're Americans, we're all Americans too. You know, but being the entrepreneur, that it's a big deal, you know, and just even from Yessie's background, you guys know she has this talk show, she's a model, she's an actress, she's a mom, she's everything, you know, she's like all the stuff produced, like all, you know, it's a lot of work. So it looks beautiful on the camera. We're here today putting all this stuff out, but all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, you never even, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot. So being an entrepreneur sounds lovely, you know, looks good on paper. Everybody's like, yay. But when you really pull back the layers of being an entrepreneur, I believe that entrepreneurs are the hardest working people on the face of the planet, because you have to build something and make something and continue that something to grow, right? So you can have a legacy thereafter. So I take my hat off to all the entrepreneurs out there.
Thank you.
Yes. Wow. We've had a juicy conversation. Nadine, did you have a follow-up question for our guest?
No, I just piggyback up on what Cece said. I said it's hard work.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely. It's very hard work. All right. So what's next for you now, personally and professionally, that you're most excited to really step into or grow or even evolve?
Honestly, I'm really excited that I have met you ladies, and this is my first time meeting Miss Nadine, but I've heard so much about you, so you know it's nice to finally meet you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I'm really happy that I got to meet you all. I was just praying to God that He would send me the right people to be able to network with and really build a solid, you know, network that is, you know, faith-based, good hearts and good minds, you know, good characters of people that I really want to work with to be able to, you know, expound my business, because I have been growing it, but it does take a while and it takes time. So it's a lot that I'm still learning, but I want it to be set up like the alphabet, A to Z, like.
Thank you. Yeah, completely understandable. So remind the viewers and listeners your business or businesses.
No, it's just I think it's just one. But my company is GorJus U. So again, I'm a cosmetologist, and with a cosmetologist, I'm able to do hair, nails, and all those types of things. So sometimes I'm on set, you know, like if someone needs me to come on set and do hair or makeup or something like that, I can do that. Being a stylist, and I'm into fashion and all that too. So it's just like I just feel like whatever needs to be done, let's get you looking good, honey, and get you where you need to be. So I am I'm either behind the scenes or in front of the camera, but that's what my business is everything. And I do some digital content creating and things like that. And I'm getting into acting, you know, and it's just like when I do my production, I put the whole sound together. So I do voiceovers and, you know, I've created some little animation stuff. So I'm learning more and more. But yeah, that's what GorJus U is.
That is amazing. I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so for people who want to book you, you know, if they want to get their nails done, their hair done, they want to bring you on set, how do they reach out to you? Where can they find you? Is there like an email, social media, phone number?
Yes, I'm probably not going to get my phone number out because I'm already in the cougar stage, you know. I know I don't look like it, but I'm in my 40s, so I was trying to close my ears to the menopause thing. Like, no.
Me too, darling. I don't want to hear it.
But yes, I am on Instagram. My first page was hacked, so I set up a new Instagram, and it's one Miss GorJus. That's MISGorJus. So that's on my Instagram. You can DM me. I do have an email, which is missgorjus@gmail.com, which is MISGorJus. And it's the same thing. And so I have a YouTube channel that I will be working on. And it's Miss GorJus, MISGorJus. So yeah, if you look for me on TikTok, it's the same thing. It's spelled the same way.
Beautiful.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Lovelies, do you have any other questions for our guests before we pivot over into our last minute words?
I do not.
All right. So now we're going to enter into our last minute words, where this is an opportunity for you to either remind your viewers where they can find you, follow you if you have a quote, inspirational message, whatever comes into your heart. This is an opportunity for you to do that. And so for you, Latoya, to get a glimpse as to how that looks, I'm going to have Nadine start. We're going to have Cece go next. You go third, and then I'll close out with the remaining sponsors.
Okay, who's going first?
All right. It's about that time, y'all. So as you know, my name is Nadine Barton, Nadine the author. You can find me here on Facebook, my first and last name, Nadine Barton, and on Instagram, Nadia B _1202, NADIAB _1202. And just like Latoya, I'm trying to build up my little YouTube, so it's the same name as my Instagram. Don't go over there and laugh at me now. Just my little 100 followers.
I got 93.
So yes, it's NADIAB _1202. And if you'd like to check out some of my books, you could visit my website, www.nadinebarton.com. And like I always say, life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react. So make sure you treat people kind, because they don't want Nadine to go back to Nadine 1.0, because I've evolved. So but yeah, that's it.
Fantastic. I like that. We've evolved. We're all 2.0ers here. Well, actually, we're 3.0. Hoy En Día TV 3.0. We're 3.0, y'all. Okay. I love it. I love it. So, hey, I'm your girl, Sienna, the actions with Inspire for Purpose, right? So you can check me out at inspireforpurpose.com or girlswithgigs.com, right? So I'm everything to help you get clear about your fears so that you can move forward, right? And overcome the challenges that are in your life. My quote is, remember, nothing positive ever came from negative thinking. And as I always love to say, love and light and inspire for purpose.
Latoya, my dear, it is your
Okay, so yes, my name is Latoya Stokes. If you was to Google me, everything will pop up. But I'm gonna say my Instagram is one Miss GorJus. It's the number one MISGorJus @gmail.com. No, sorry, not the .com. Okay, the other part. Sorry. Okay. YouTube is MISGORJUS. That I gave out my Gmail, so y'all know that. And so I don't specifically have a quote, but I will say that I feel that self-evaluation is very important. You can always self-evaluate, and when I say self-evaluate, you can be at a job interview or not an interview, but you get evaluation. No, you can self-evaluate. How am I feeling? How am I doing? Looking in the mirror. Is there anything that I want to change? Anything that I want to do different? That you can really start with yourself to be the best version of yourself that you can be. And spread love and positivity.
I love that. Yes. Well, thank you all for tuning into another episode of Hoy En Día TV. As per usual, we had another juicy, amazing episode. We learned a lot. I mean, from the beginning to the end, we just had a really amazing conversation. But that is what Hoy En Día is. It's about life, lifestyle, the good, the bad, the ugly. I mean, this is reality, right? We are here to motivate, enlighten, inspire, educate, and entertain you, the viewer and listener, with each and every episode. On the actual comments, I went ahead and put in where you can find past episodes. So simply go under my website, yessirodriguez.com. On the upper left-hand side, you're going to see a drop-down, select Hoy En Día, and then you're going to see all the different areas where you can hear past segments of Hoy En Día TV, because you do not want to miss what we have to say. We have a lot of amazing guest conversations. I mean, I've been recapping some of the conversations. I'm like, wow, okay, look at us. I'm proud of us. We are growing beautifully. Praise God. Yes. And also thank you for everyone who always supports us, for sharing, for listening, for spreading the word of Hoy En Día. That is what it is. It's about community. It's about growth. It's about life and lifestyle, right? And so with that in mind, I'm going to highlight 2 more sponsors that we have left. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Sponsored by Collective Wear. Available at www.yessirodriguez.com/shop and myrod-enterprise.com/shop.
Sponsored by Divine Beauty and Accessories. Watch Hoy En Día TV, Thursdays, 7:30 p.m.
And along with watching Hoy En Día Thursdays, you can, if you missed the reruns, or actually, sorry, if you missed live, catch the reruns Sundays, 7:30 p.m. Also, you can find us on YouTube, on Facebook, Instagram. For those who want to know more about who I am, just type in under Google Yessi Rodriguez, YESSE Rodriguez, and voila, my information pops up. And my ending words for you all today is: the sky is never the limit because the galaxies are endless. And thank you all for tuning into another episode of Hoy En Día. Until next week, take care.
Bye.